Okay, good afternoon, candidates. Today we'll talk about one aspect of GTO's tests which is extremely important, but a lot of candidates who go for SSB they falter on it. Now, it's a very simple thing, and yet people make mistakes, causing them to get rejected because of these mistakes. Now, what is that aspect? There are 5 group rules. GTO's outdoor tests entails 5 rules which you have to follow in letter and spirit when undergoing GTO outdoor tests. Now, the GTO will brief you in great detail before the tests begin. You have to understand what are those 5 rules, and for all outdoor tests when you are performing as part of a group, you have to adhere to those rules. Now, let us look at those rules one by one. What is the first rule? It is called rule of group. What is this rule? Now, any task will be deemed to have got completed when the last member of the team has crossed the finish line or finish point. Now, let us say there are 20 people in your group and you are performing an obstacle, a task. Let us say 19 have completed that obstacle and have crossed the finish line, but the last candidate, 20th candidate, is still on the job or still hasn't completed the finish point, has not crossed the finish line. So, this means that the task is not complete yet. You cannot begin to do the next task till the final candidate, the 20th candidate, has crossed that obstacle and crossed the finish line. So, this is called rule of group, number 1. Number 2, the second rule, rule of distance. Now, in your outdoor tests like your PGT, HGT, FGT, even in your command task, you will find there are some structures, some platforms marked in different colors. Now, you have to cross an obstacle. Now, there are certain structures in between to aid you, to assist you. Now, the guideline here is any structure which is 4 feet apart or 4 feet from where you are standing, you can jump and reach there without the aid of any helping material. But if it is more than 4 feet apart, you cannot jump and reach there. You are not allowed to. Now, you may say, I am a very tall boy, I am more than 6 feet tall, so I can jump up to 8 feet. So, that does not mean that you can jump and reach there. You are not allowed to. You may be able to jump 12 feet, but that rule says anything which is only 4 feet from where you are standing, you can jump and reach there. If it is more than, even if it is 4.5 feet, you will either have to reroute your direction or use some helping material to reach there. So, this is called rule of distance, 4 feet. Number 3, called rule of rigidity. Now, what is this rule? In your outdoor test, you will be given some helping material which will aid, facilitate your completing that obstacle. For example, you will be given some planks, जिसको हिंदी में हम कहते हैं फट्टा, or you may be given some balli or a bamboo pole, right? Now, let us say you have to reach a platform or a structure which is, let us say, 10 feet apart, and these bamboos or the planks that have been given to you are only 8 feet in length. So, this rule entails that you cannot tie 2 ballis or poles to extend their length in order to reach that platform. You will have to use some other, think of some other means of reaching there. You cannot extend to the length of 2 rigid objects by tying them together, right. Like this is one object, one pole, this is another pole, both are 8 feet long. You cannot rest one on top of the other and tie a rope to extend the length. that is not permissible in outdoor tests. So, this is called rule of rigidity. Okay. Number 4, rule of infinity. What is this rule? See, at the start of that obstacle, each obstacle, there will be a line marked in white. It is called the start line. And at the end, there would be another line which is called finish line. Now, this line may only be 6 feet or maybe 8 feet in length, and the obstacle would be in front of that line. Now, this line is considered to be infinite. The ends of both the lines are endless. Now, what does it mean? Let us say you have to keep something, some object or some helping material or a load on a platform. So, you cannot go by the side of that line and put it there on that structure or on that platform. This line is endless. You will have to devise some other means to reach there. This is called rule of infinity. And the last rule is called rule of color. What is this rule? Now, the structures or the obstacle that you would see, there would be various points which are marked in 3 different colors: red, blue and white. Now, anything which is marked red, whether it is a beam or a platform or a structure or anything which is painted in red color, is not to be touched neither by you nor by any helping material which was given to you, nor can you rest the load which is to be taken across the obstacle on that red painted structure or object. So, this is the first rule. Second, anything painted blue, the candidate, human being, is allowed to stand on it, but you cannot rest your helping material or the load to be carried on that blue structure or blue platform. And the third is white. Anything painted white is free for all. You can also stand there, you can keep your helping material, you can keep your load which is to be carried. It's open, you can use it either way, whatever you want to. So, these are the 5 rules which you must keep in mind. Now, if you violate any of these rules while performing those outdoor tasks, you must go back and redo it, because do not assume that the GTO is not observant, right. It is in your own interest. If you inadvertently violate any rule, you must go back and repeat that. So, this is what I would recommend, that you must not violate these rules, and if at all you do, you must repeat it. Now, as a recheck, which are the 5 rules? Number 1, rule of group. The entire obstacle will be considered to have got completed when the entire group, as the last member of the group, has crossed over the finish line. Rule of distance, 4 feet. Rule of rigidity, you cannot bind 2 rigid objects to extend their length. Rule of infinity, the lines, white painted lines at the beginning and end of that obstacle are infinite. The ends are infinite. And last, the rule of color, red, blue and white. Red, out of bounds for you and your helping material. Blue, it is, you can use it, you can stand on it, but it is out of bounds for your helping material and the load that has to be carried across. White is free for all, you can also stand on it, you can rest your objects, your helping material or the load on it. So, these are the 5 rules, and I hope you will bear these 5 rules in mind, and when you perform the GTO's outdoor tests, you will adhere to these 5 rules. So, thank you very much.